Good day, ladies and gentlemen. We're here at the January 2018 Metal Investor Forum in Vancouver. I'm speaking with Cooper Quinn, the CEO of Osprey Gold. Osprey is focused on gold in Atlantic Canada, Nova Scotia specifically. So what do investors have to look forward to? I mean, one thing to get out of the way, since it is January, this is not an area where you've got any kind of really extreme seasonality at all when it comes to getting work done.
No, and I think that's one of the advantages we like about the province. There is the ability to really do work year round. It snows a bit, but it's not in the middle of the mountains somewhere with avalanche danger. With
Right.
helicopter drills where on the roads we can drive there drag things around with a bulldozer. So we do plan on doing some work through the winter here, which I think sets us apart a little bit for over the next few months from some companies, which should be an advantage. I think one of the projects we'll start doing some work on that we haven't really had a chance on the ground at yet is Caribou. That's kind of our next step here while we go through the data from the Goldenville summer program. We're kind of running those two in parallel in terms of the data side on Goldenville and then the on the ground side at Caribou. That's a project, the more we tear into it on the data side, the more excited we are about it. So we're looking forward to getting some real boots on the ground and shovels in the ground there. I think we might start with a trenching program and then work towards drilling.
Now, is that sort of classic Maguma, sort of reef parallel veins? I mean, is Caribou? Are there any real differences, say, between Caribou and Goldenville, which is sort of the marquee project with the resource that you had? Yeah,
I think one of the things that really brought us to Caribou, we looked at a lot of different projects in Nova Scotia, and so Caribou happens to be at the boundary between two major formations. One of them is the overlying Halifax formation, which is primarily argillites. So that's the finer grained unit that Atlantic's having so much success in with their kind of disseminated open pit style stuff. And we've got some pretty good indications, I think, on the ground that there's going to be some disseminated mineralization in that argillite. What exactly does that look like? And that's now our job to figure out, I guess. But we're pretty excited with some of the historic work that's been done there and the potential for that mineralization in those argillites. As well as historically, it was a high-grade mine. And within that kind of classic Maguma terrain, there's also these larger stockwork zones of, instead of half meter to 1 meter intersections, there's 10, 12 meter intersections of 9, 10 grams. And so that's another area we could build some tonnage pretty quickly, I think, if we can.
Is that something that's recognized? I know there's like a small resource there, but is that Breccia stuff really recognized in that resource, or is that sort of a thing on its own?
So there's a historic resource on the project from 2005, I believe, 2006, of about just under 100,000 ounces. I mean, it was a compliant resource at the time, but has since kind of elapsed. It includes one of these stockwork zones, but the indications are that there's a couple others on the project and they're open-ended.
Right.
So,
okay.
It's on the same structure as well as Cochrane Hill, which has similar intercepts and similar widths and stuff. I'm not exactly sure of the nature of the mineralization there, but the grades and widths are pretty similar.
Okay, so what do you think, an investor in Osprey, I mean, it's had its trials and tribulations, it's pretty good low price right now. Over the next, say, 3 to 6 months, what can an investor look forward to in terms of workflow and news flow?
Yeah, so I think we'll start work on the ground here fairly soon. It's January 19th now. So in the next couple of weeks here, we'll get to work on the ground and we can be starting to advance and push these projects forward, kind of ahead of the curve a little bit for a lot of the other Canadian explorcos. And so that'll be an advantage and should, then we'll be able to roll into our summer programs, I think, pretty rapidly. So constant news flow should be pretty constant for the next few months here.
And I think you still have a few drill results coming, right? Not a
We do, correct. We've still got the last round of results coming from Goldenville. Expect to have those out pretty shortly here.
Okay, so I mean, there's been a little bit of quiet. I really like Caribou. I mean, I think that's a pretty cool project. So it's nice to see there's going to be data flow from that now. I expect you guys will get a lot more active, and I think there'll be a lot more news flow in the next 3 to 6 months. And I think that's really all you need to get the market to sit up and pay attention.
Yeah, I hope so. I think especially if we can start to evidence, solid evidence of that disseminated mineralization at Caribou, that'll get people excited. And we're really excited about those bigger stockwork zones as well, because we can build some ounces there pretty quickly. And I know it's sort of a region of the world that's near and dear to your heart.
Yeah. This is true, yes. I'm from one parent on one side, one parent on the other side of Nova Scotia. Okay, so sounds
Awesome.
good.
Well, thanks for the time, Eric, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay.